Hello Fancy Managers and welcome to another video from myself, Will, and fantasyfootballhub.co.uk. Firstly, I wanted to say a massive thank you to the thousands of people that have subscribed to the site. I cannot stress how grateful I am for you guys and supporting the site, and thank you everyone for all the positive feedback that you've given, and also the feedback that you've given that helps us improve, because we've got lots more coming, and some of that is because of your feedback. This video is in response to someone who actually asked, what do I get if I subscribe to Fantasy Football Hub? So I thought I'd pull the video together and send it out to my wider audience, so that maybe for those that are thinking about subscribing, they can get a feel of exactly what they get when they do subscribe. Okay, so this is the FPL Members area, and as you can see straight off the back there, we produce weekly content. So over the course of the season, you'll get access to over 100 members articles. So each week you have several articles that are just for Fantasy Premier League members. And as an example here, we've got team news and injury roundup from Ben Dinnery. He produces an article each week after the press conferences, which gives a detailed breakdown of all the important injuries and news from those press conferences, which is absolutely vital for FPL managers. You've got Rich Clark's FPL strategy video there, and Rich is one of the best players in the world. He's got over 12 top 30k finishes, very consistent. He's very good at his strategy as well. That's why he's writing the FPL strategy series. You've got Matthew Jones here, who does his weekly team reveal articles. Matthew is arguably the best player in the world. He's got a ridiculously good FPL record, so you get insights from the best FPL managers. Chris Town there with his captaincy decision article. He does a breakdown of all the key captaincy choices each week, giving his conclusion, giving his insight. Chris is another top manager. So that's just a sprinkling of what you get on a weekly basis. Okay, so now moving on to our tools and guides and planners. So we've got a lot of these, so I'm not going to go over each of them in detail, but I'm just going to give you a very high level overview of what's on offer. First of all, we're going to be having Opta data for next year, so you get to see all the underlying statistics that are important for making fantasy decisions. And this tool is still in production, but hopefully it'll be ready within the next few weeks. I'm recording this at the beginning of June, so if you're seeing this at a later date, it's probably already ready. But this is a beta version, so it's still very, very functional. As you can see, it's very, very easy to maneuver how many game weeks you want to see in the past, and it all automatically updates down the bottom here, and you can change exactly. So say you wanted to see the forwards over the last 6 game weeks, price between 8 million and 13.2 million, and you can see all the key contenders here. Say you wanted to see attempts for shots in the box, Vardy comes top there. So it's very easy to quickly assess the best players that you want and see those important underlying statistics. And we're going to be adding more statistics to this as we go on, so it's just going to become better and better. Okay, now quickly on to our comparison tool. As I said, I'm not going to spend ages on this, but just to give you guys a quick flavor of what you'll be getting. Say you wanted to compare Sergio Aguero to Harry Kane. Straight off the bat there, you can see that Sergio Aguero looks like the better option, and when the fixtures are live, you can also see the upcoming fixtures here. So it's very easy to quickly assess 2 different players, and again, we're actually going to be improving this, including Opta data for the start of next season. So this comparison tool is going to be integrated with updating. It's going to become even more powerful. Okay, our How to Win a FPL guide, so that gives a breakdown of more of the nuances of playing the game. It's written by myself and FPL Heisenberg, and I'm also going to be producing a video series, so a series just like this, which is going to be broken down into about 12 sections, which is going to be a companion guide to this. So it's going to be similar to this guide, which we're also updating, but it's going to be in video format, so 2 to 5 minute videos, 12 sections breaking down on all my advice on how to play and how to do well at fantasy football. Okay, so moving on then, and we've got Ben Krellin's very, very popular FPL planning sheet. This thing is insane. You can actually buy it for Ben for 15 quid, but you get completely free access to it as a hub member. So very, very Good benefit for those hub members out there. And Ben is an absolute spreadsheet genius, and he's produced a spreadsheet that it's very simple, very accessible to those who aren't necessarily that used to using spreadsheets. He's got a lot of explanation videos, but what it does in essence is it allows you to plan your transfers in advance, visualize your team, see the upcoming fixtures, see which fixtures are good, which fixtures are bad. So very, very, very powerful tool there. I use it a lot. A lot of top players use it, and I highly, highly recommend it. Next, we got the fixture ticker. Now, I cannot stress how important a good fixture ticker is. It is probably the number one thing that I use on a weekly basis to look at the upcoming fixtures and target those teams that have good upcoming fixtures. It's absolutely crucial if you want to do it well at Fantasy Premier League, and if you compare it to the one on the FPL website, then there is just no comparison. I really wouldn't use that one. It's not very good. It gives you just a very, very basic look that's, to be honest, frankly wrong half the time. This one is based on spread betting odds from our statistician Carl, and it's very, very easy to use. I can't actually go into it now because we don't have the fixtures for the upcoming season. But as soon as we do have the fixtures for the upcoming season, I'll do a demo of that because it is a very, very powerful tool. You can sort by attack and defense. You can change the game weeks you want to look in advance. It's very, very slick, very handy. I use that every single week. Next, we have the Hub Community Forum, which is based on our Slack channel. So if you haven't come across Slack, then it's just a really good way of interacting with people. Create multiple threads, create different topics. Create different channels. It's just a very, very easy way of interacting, and we set that up a few months ago, and it's become very, very popular. We've got about 300 members in there at the moment, interacting on a regular basis around FPL. Highly recommend joining that. Lots of good discussions on there, and we've got a very, very knowledgeable community, so you all just learn it off each other and become better players together. Okay, so moving along then, I'm not going to look at every single one of our tools, but I am going to have a look at these next four. And the next one I want to look at is the Fantasy Premier League Rate My Team tool. So this thing's really, really clever, and how it works is it looks at the 50 best managers in the world, what their teams are, and then it compares their teams to your team. And based on that comparison, it suggests transfers you can make and gives your team a rating as a percentage. So if you scored 80%, then it would suggest transfers that you can make to improve that rating, to improve your team rating. So very, very clever. Highly recommend giving that a go. We are actually working on updating that tool as well. So we've got lots more in the pipeline, and we're going to be producing more tools. So this is very much a high level overview of what we have at the moment. But as I said, we've got lots more coming. Okay, so the next tool is the algorithm developed by our statistician Carl. And this thing is a bit of a statistical beast, but what it does is it looks at spread betting odds and converts those spread betting odds, the chance of scoring a goal, assist, etc., into expected FPL points. Okay, so next one there is Jossie's FPL Planner, another very good planning tool. As I said, planning is absolutely key in fantasy football. So if you do want a planning sheet, we've got two, both of them really, really good. Highly recommend Jossie's one. Jossie's a great guy, very good planning sheet. He's actually got 4 different ways of analysing fixtures in that planning sheet. So I recommend you go check that out as well. Our next one there is the FPL Watchlist tool. That uses the same data that Rate My Team tool uses. So the data from the 50 best managers in the world, and based on that data, it suggests players that you can bring in, a watch list if you like. Okay, so I hope that gives you a high level overview of exactly what you get when you subscribe to Fantasy Football Hub. People asking about prices. And everything that I've talked about in this video, absolutely everything you can get for £1.66 a month. So that's billed yearly. So it's 20 quid for the year, which works out £1.66 a month. Very accessible. You know, you're going to spend more than that on a coffee these days, and you get access to absolutely everything I've talked about in this video. Plus, we're actually got a discount on at the moment for June. So if you enter the coupon code, and we can go through it here. If you enter the coupon code early bird here, you're going to get 15% off. And you can pay by card or PayPal, and you're going to get 15% off. And that works out at less than £1.50 a month. So highly recommend taking advantage of that offer, because it's not going to be around for long. This is a limited time offer. Okay, so everything that I've talked about up to this point, you can access as a regular member. So it's very important to make that clear. Full site access for the 20 quid a year, £1.66 a month. Premium members get access to all of that plus WhatsApp groups. So why are WhatsApp groups different to our Slack channel? Slack channel is a big community forum. Highly recommend that. And you get access to that at the regular price. So running the WhatsApp groups, it does involve a bit of admin for us. So that's why we charge a bit more for it. But everyone that's in the WhatsApp groups always really enjoys them. So I would recommend doing that as well. So these prices are for memberships that are billed yearly. If you prefer to be billed monthly, you can also do that. You could just subscribe for a few months and then cancel it if you want. Those prices are a bit higher. That's just mainly because of transaction fees, etc. But that option is there for you if you want. If you do have any questions about any of our hub memberships, any of the content that you get on site, drop a comment in this video. On YouTube, that is, if you're watching this on YouTube, and I will try my very best to get back to you. That's a goodbye for me for now. I'll be coming back with more videos on YouTube, and also I'm obviously producing that How to Win an FPL video series that I mentioned earlier. But otherwise, I hope you guys are enjoying the summer, and I will see you guys shortly. Bye for now.